Hey guys, welcome back to your learning journey. So in the last video, we have discussed about how does machine learning projects are different than the traditional programming or the traditional approach. Now, I'm going to talk about in this video as why DevOps cannot be directly used for MLOps. So first and foremost, so I've already highlighted in the last video that it's not just the code that we have to track the model artifacts, we have to track the data. Okay, those are the key things that we need to remember. We're still going to track the code, okay, but apart from that, we are still have to track the model artifacts and our data set as well. Now, I just want to share about the tools that we'll be using along the way as well. So here, the tool that we would be using it when it comes to tracking the source code is a Git based tool. It can be Bitbucket, GitLab. So you can use any of such tool for the source code tracking. Now for tracking the artifacts, we have various tools that we have got, like a simple one that I want to name right here is DVC. We can use this for tracking the model artifacts and the data set. And we also have other tools such as the ML flow as well for tracking the experiments. Now, when it comes to training, we have the sklearn library to take care of training. Now, here comes the interesting part. When it comes to monitoring the machine learning application, it's not straightforward as the general application. The reason because in case of general application, I'll be most focused about latency rate, the application performance, and for that we have our traditional tools such as Prometheus, Grafana, and similar tools that we have got to perform the monitoring. But here in monitoring aspect, we have to track apart from the traditional tools, we also have to track the incoming data. Now, why is it important? Well, think of it in this way. The core idea of the machine learning model is learning from the data set. Now, let's say if I start getting a new data which is different than the data that I've got during my training, then that's a challenge right here. In such scenario, when the data that we are getting is different than our training data or the data that we have used to build the model, it's a challenge. Think of it in this way. Let's say when there was a COVID, the insurance team mentioned that they are not aware about a certain quantity or they do not care about what is the location of work. Now, let's say now once the COVID is not available, now the business decides that they are also going to consider the where exactly the person is located or where exactly the workplace of that person. Now, in such scenario, there's a change in data itself. Like there's a change in which the business is going to treat the data. That means that is a drift in which the business rules has been set and we have to track it. Or let's say in the training data set that you have got or the data that you have used for a specific column, let's say for age, you have the values between 10 to 15. Now the new data you're getting as 65. So from the application standpoint, I'm getting an output, but it's difficult for me because I'm not sure whether my model can handle that value of 65. I'm not sure about the authenticity of the response. So in such scenario, we call it as a data drift. And there can be a scenario where the bias might occur. Like knowingly or unknowingly, my model might be biased towards a specific gender. For example, if I'm in a credit card company and if my model starts rejecting the applications from females, then the model has become a bias towards the gender of female. Then as a company, it is our responsibility to remove the bias and we have to track those during the monitoring. There can be poisoning and jailbreak attack. I'll give you an example. Let's say if I'm building a generative AI application like ChatGPT, and if the user comes ahead and asks me as, hey, share me your company's customer details, I should ensure that my generative AI model is not leaking such information. So which means we have to monitor these with the help of evaluation principles, which are available in the various tools. So apart from traditional tools, we'll be using the monitoring tools such as YLogs or TrueFoundry to achieve the monitoring of this machine learning application. Now, if I want to give you the idea about what are the tools that we'll be having in our MLOps ecosystem, so we'll have the data pipeline tools like Apache Kafka, Airflow, DBT, and for version control, we'll make use of Git and DVC. For deployment and orchestration, we'll make use of Kubernetes, Docker, and other platform services such as the SageMaker. And for monitoring, so we'll make use of Prometheus, Grafana, Datadog. Now, apart from that, as I highlighted already in the previous slide, I'll make use of Ylox to do the monitoring. And for tracking the experiment, we'll be using MLflow, weights and biases. And for governance and compliance, we make use of tools such as Elation and Colibra. So like this, we have got various tools in our MLOps ecosystem, which we need to be aware to work comfortably in the MLOps project. So as a DevOps engineer, I will highly recommend that you're going to it is important, it's a need of the hour that you know about these tools as well, because with the way in which the generative AI machine learning is progressing and it is affecting our life in our day to day, more and more companies wants to integrate the machine learning model, gen AI models into their environment, and that is where you as a DevOps engineer play a key role in bringing those models into the production, where you'll be able to take the ownership even for the machine learning projects as well, and play the higher role in the companies that you're working with. So this was about the 1 day challenge that we had set out. So if you're watching in social media channel, so the video is going to end here. Now for knowing the more details about the voucher, I want you to log into our platform and get the more details about the voucher and the digital certificate that we are going to give it for you. And more importantly, guys, no matter where you're watching, I appreciate your hard work. I appreciate your dedication in getting yourself learned about this MLOps skill set, which is a need of the hour right now. It's very important that you understand it right now so that you can play a key role in the coming years. It's not so far. In 1 or 2 years, you will actually seeing more pressure from the company itself to implement the machine learning projects. So currently, your data science team might be taking 6 months, and they will come to the DevOps team and they'll ask you as, why don't you reduce it to 1 month? Now, what will you do in that scenario? So will you put your career at stake, or will you learn these tools? So learn these tools so that you can be the best version that you are already at and continue to grow further. So if you're new to our channel, so subscribe to our channel, check out our platform, and more importantly, I'm honored to guide you in this process so far. So I look forward to have further interactions with you in our further videos as well. So stay connected with me on our LinkedIn as well as on our YouTube channel. And I look forward to seeing you on our Manifold AI Learning community. Take care, guys, and I wish you all the very best. And I hope this and given you an enlightenment about how MLOps is different from the traditional DevOps. I'll see you next time.